Hey guys, this is Peter, and a lot of you may have not have known that if you put an antenna on your roof, depending on where you live, you can get a lot of stations. These ones are all in HD, for example. Ooh.
David, he got into
Accident
the 51
on the track.
and burnt in the process.
Look at that 52.
Oh, kept going. All right, so that was channel 2. This is channel 4.
Right now,
It's a beautiful picture. I've got a good TV tuner. I'll do another one on that. It's Silicon Dust. I've done many videos on that.
Sometimes.
But there are legal ways to get television in good quality and good quantity. These are all HD channels.
And here are words that have not been said.
I have a wonderful antenna, even though I'm like 60 miles from my source.
Against. That's who we wanted to knock off.
All right, so you have channel 9.
And into that, 4 to 8 cloves of garlic.
All right. These are all HD channels. Look at that. It's just a ton. I'm going to show you how to get HD channels in your area, find out which ones you get. These are all the different channels that I get. It just goes on and on and on. So if you're in this kind of situation, you kind of need to put an antenna on your roof. Now, what kind of channels are you going to get? Well, that depends on where you live. All right, guys, well, let me show you how you find out what you're going to get. Just go to type in at Google, type in ATSC coverage map. Now, there's one for Canada, one for the UK. I'm going to click on the one for the US. That's just coverage map. Boom. I want the one from the FCC. That's in the US. Here, let me zoom this in a little bit so you can see. All right, so it shows you the reception map that you're going to get. These are channels. This is totally legal, by the way. Because we pay for this with our taxes. So completely legal. You can type in your address exactly, but I'm just going to type in my zip for right now. This is a good way, whoops, a good way to find out. That's my zip. Boom, there we are in the heart of San Jose, and you can see on the side, these are all the channels. The ones in green are easy to get. So, channel 36, UHF. UHF is the band that's also really easy to get. Boom, boom, boom. The antenna that I'm going to show you today is fantastic with UHF. Most channels are UHF. There's a couple that are high V, which is VHF higher band. And the antenna I'm going to show you also has provisions for that. In fact, you're going to see one that I've been talking about, channel 7, KGO. In the San Francisco Bay Area, the big ones are 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and that is your main. That's your ABC, your NBC, your CBS, and your PBS. So we get all of those, and super easy, and they work wonderfully in HD. So this is how you're going to find out what you can get in your area. If you get a chunk of them, it's definitely worth doing. And if they're green. All right, so let me zoom in and show you how you can tell where to point your antenna. Now, the antenna that I have today is omnidirectional, which means that for the UHF signals, it doesn't matter the orientation. However, for the VHF, it's still going to matter a bit. So here's how you tell. How am I going to get this VHF channel? Just click on it. Boom. It shows you the vector. And the vector is it's a line or a piece of a line segment with both direction and magnitude. So that line is your distance to the cell towers. Or not to the cell towers, but to the transmission towers. Let me click on another one. Here's my channel 7. Boom, KGO. All right, that's from a San Francisco. So all of my towers are either San Francisco or Daly City with all the stuff that I want to get, which makes it really nice because for those two channels, I just kind of have to point it towards San Francisco. Now, what does that look like? So people are like, I'm not really good with direction. Boom, change the satellite view. Zoom the heck in. Boom, 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 boom. There I am. Boom, 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 boom. Now, if you had your exact address, you could actually see your rooftop. I zoomed in too far. I lost my rooftop. Now, I just put in a zip code, so this isn't my actual house. Although I do know that one. I think I do. Anyway, the person who lives here is just going to have to point it at their neighbor's eave. You know, just towards their neighbor's house. Boom, it gives you a good idea of where you're going to have to point your antenna. And that's all you need, really, to know where you have to, what you have to do and where you have to point it. And this site gives you key information for that vector, how big that's going to be. We're looking at San Francisco to San Jose as the crow flies. That's a good 65 miles or so. So it's going to affect your antenna solution. I'll give you a link to this webpage, but when you go to Amazon, you can find all of Antop solutions. They're all available on Amazon, and they have varying ranges. So if you lived in Dallas, Texas, you can get away with, look, here's a really inexpensive one. That's a filter you can use with any antenna, but what it does is it filters out a lot of frequencies from these things. The 4K, the 3G, 4G. Look at these. Some of them are, you might be able to get away with a $22 antenna. I've seen people have written to me and said, I live in Dallas, Texas. And I remember that one. I often refer to it. Because I said, wow, you can't afford not to. Because all of your cell towers are, look, they get a ton of channels in Dallas. And they're all super easy to, and no matter which one you click on, boom. Well, that's the odd one, I guess. Boom, boom. Oh no, look, they're all in the same direction. Boom, boom. I'm just randomly clicking, but look at this. All the vectors are the same direction, and it's very close. They could get by with a very inexpensive antenna. Probably the least expensive one. These ones are probably going to work great. 40 to 50 miles, no problem. So really, if you live in that kind of area, if you get a map that looks like this, where everything is super close. I don't know what the distance to these places is. To Cedar Hill, is that correct? And we want directions. Cedar Hill, Texas. How far are we looking at, guys? We're looking at 17 miles. 17 miles by road. So it's really like a 16-mile distance. Any one of these antennas is going to be super. So, yeah, you don't need, in their case, you don't need a $100 antenna. You need a $30 antenna. And Antop sells those as well, and they sell them from Amazon. So super easy. I'll put a link to that. But use this page. I'll put a link to that. God, I got to put links to all sorts of things now. But this is how you figure out the kind of antenna you need. And let's get to it. Let me show you the one that I got today. Hey guys, this is Peter, and well, look what came in the mail today. There are two antennas from Antop. Antop makes a whole line of antennas. From this one, which is an indoor antenna. It's incredibly thin. I'll be showing you this one. But it all depends, the antenna solution that you get depends on where you live. So I'm going to show you how to look that up. I happen to live really far. I live in San Jose, California, and our TV stations come all the way from San Francisco, which is about 50 miles. This antenna is the top of the line. This is, well, an amplified outdoor panel, omnidirectional panel. Pretty excited to take a look at this one, because this should do it for me. So I'm going to open it up. Let me move you a little bit closer. All right, so here we go. Wow, this is really packed tight. All right, we've got a stand, so you could stand it inside. So it is, I guess, an option to mount this inside as well as outside. You could even mount it in the attic. All right. This is the big peep-ho. Wow, this is pretty serious. So this is supposed to do as well as a lot of those outdoor antennas that we grew up with. The ones that look like, well, they call them high gain antennas. The ones that look like this. So this one can go, well, inside or outside. It's waterproof. Interesting. Let's take a look. You could, of course, set it up like this. It's got the mounting hardware. It's got some poles that stick out on the side. Let's put this up on the mast outside and then do a channel scan and see if it does as good as the antenna that I have outside. The old ugly one that no one likes. All right. I'll see you outside. Here, before I head outside, I'm going to show you what it looks like now. I put the base down here loosely, and I screwed on these little side posts. So this is really what it looks like. It's incredibly well made. It's waterproof. You know, these little side pieces just screwed on. There were 2 bolts here. And this is really all I'm going to need to do is put on this bracket, mount it to my mast. But, of course, you could just run it inside or up in your attic, sitting on, I guess you could put a board across the beams and just run it that way. Comes with all the cabling we need, and comes with a filter to filter out all of the noise that we get from 3G and 4G phones. So I'm going to give that a try as well. I'm really hoping this works and I can get rid of the big unsightly antenna. Well, here it is installed, and I put it on the same mast as my previous antenna. And I wanted to be able to test it exactly with the same cable runs, the same everything. And it did incredibly well. I was able to scan this over 100 channels with this. And I got all the big ones. I got channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Those are all the big ones. So I mounted it as a rooftop mount. But this one's so small, you could put it on your balcony. Or you can actually, if you have a homeowners association that's really tough, you could even run it inside. It's an antenna. And it has a really well-made construction. I think if you lived in the snow or in a place that was windy, this would be an ideal solution. You could even mount it to the side of the house. This is a very good antenna, and the company was very good to work with. I got to experience a couple of their different antennas. This one worked the best for me because I'm so far away. But I got to tell you, I'm really tickled. Not only did I get all the same stations, I also got better signal integrity. There's a little app that comes with the HD Home Run. If you haven't seen it, look for it on your Play Store. And it's a HD Home Run signal monitor. You can actually see that you're getting better signal. I was also able to see the effect of that little switch. Really cool stuff, and I really like and appreciate Antop. They were so nice to work with. There are neighbors to the north. They're up in Canada and Ontario. Very nice people, and they're making a good product. And it comes from Amazon. So, you know what that means. It means if there's any hassles, there will be no more hassles. Give them a try. I'll put the link down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.